Yeah, welcome to the latest episode of Mark to Mark. It's largely the pre-Easter show, if you like, and we've got quite a bit to talk about. I've got Mark Namanya and Mark Sally, and we will be previewing quite a number of sporting issues. We have some very interesting talk here, so you want to buckle in and stay the course because it's going to be quite the ride. But I want us to start here at home and start with Afcon. It's what's been making the headlines for a long time now, perhaps a year plus, and we still have a year of talking about Afcon every single time we show up in front of the camera. This time though, Mark, what I want us to discuss, because we've talked quite a bit about these things, what I want us to discuss is largely a reminder to the Ugandan people out there about the kind of stimulus that Afcon is going to be to the Ugandan economy. The reason I say that is there's been a lot of negative vibes lately about Afcon, and it looks like many people have actually forgotten the big picture because of feuding over petty things. This is where I want you to start though. There was a tour around hotel facilities, accommodation facilities in Hoima last week. Just tell us about what happened there so we can talk about everything else that Afcon is about to do for our economy. People need to understand this again.
So it was a very rich tour. It was commissioned by the minister, who is the co-chair of the local organizing committee, and it was led by Rogers Byamukama, who is the chairperson of the commercial and marketing subcommittee on the LOC. Also, Dennis Mbide was part of the team, and various other members, Sean Mubiru and some members from UTB and the likes. So they met the Bunyoro Hotel Owners Association, which had many big wigs, including Dr. Kabagambe Karisa, who is the owner of
Mika. I think he owns Mika.
He owns Mika, and there were a couple of hotel owners.
Was Mr. Magara there? I know he owns HB. He's one of the other big ones.
Certainly he was, yes he was. And the idea is that government has committed to support the hotel industry in the Bunyoro sub-region, in parts of Hoima and Masindi and the neighboring regions, because it's very, very important that Hoima have the stadium, but the stadium has got to have some support infrastructure, and accommodation is one of them, because where will these teams be staying? Where will these visitors be staying? Where will the officials be staying? And all the numbers, the influx of tourists will be coming in for Afcon. So the terms actually very friendly terms, because government through UDB is going to extend loans which will be repaid after 3 years.
At very low rates,
very interest rates. Yeah. And this is happening right now as we speak. That injection has started, and some of the hotels are going to be given a facelift. Some, of course, are very good to go. I know that, for instance, at Kabalega Resort, where Mark and I have stayed, there's already some extension works which are already underway, and I think for me it's a very good thing, because this tour extended to parts of Masindi. When you talk about Hoima, people forget that Masindi is just a few kilometers away from Hoima, and actually some teams will be, I think one of the teams will be residing in Masindi, and there's a training facility in Masindi, by the way.
Yes, yeah.
And the hotels in Masindi and hotels in Hoima are going to be supported by government. And it was an extensive tour. They visited a couple of hotels, Edmara, they went to HB, they went to Kontik, and several others. Some of them Mark and I, we've never been.
Yes.
But the goal is, one of the places actually is a hotel which is in Masindi, I forget the name, which is actually good to go. And it's the kind of hotel where some of the teams would actually go and reside there comfortably. One of which actually ticks all the CAF requirements for the kind of hotels which can accommodate teams for Afcon. So for me, it's a plus story. When I think of the negativity coming, Mark, most of it is informed by the ignorance of many Ugandans.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Mark. Yeah, well, when you say that, I have categorized. There's been a lot of negativity, and it's surrounded the comments made by CAF, the observations made by CAF about Hoima Stadium and its readiness in terms of Afcon kickoff. And they made observations. They asked that certain adjustments be made so that the stadium is then passed as ready by June next year. And they want those to have us to show progress by August.
Not just in Uganda, by the way, even in Kenya and Tanzania.
Because this is what happens everywhere. We've talked about it here before, that CAF inspections and CAF reports and observations and reports are actually routine. They happen everywhere, and adjustments are eventually made and tournaments go on. It's rare, actually, that tournaments are cancelled or moved. But in CAF's long history of Afcons, it probably has only happened twice or 3 times over a period of almost 100 years. So it's but the alarm has been. I categorize it this way, Mark. There are 5 different types of people who have actually been generating the negative vibes about Hoima Stadium and Uganda's readiness for Afcon. 1, there's a group with an agenda. 2, there's an overzealous one. You know, guys want to get ahead of the news and look like they're the ones
in this era of social media.
Setting the trend and
getting more likes and more comments.
Making the conversation. There are those overzealous ones. Then you've got the manipulated. There are sections, of course, of the media and society who have been manipulated by the guys with an agenda. Some of them subconscious. They don't even know they're being manipulated. Then you've got the gullible. It's guys who are easily swayed by what they read, and have no time for cross-checking or putting things into context, and also they just go with what they read. And there are many of those, and you can't blame them. It's an era of the info age and digital. The guys who get in there and make the noise attract all, and especially because the negative vibes actually. They are more interesting. The truth is actually boring.
The truth is boring.
It's boring. That's why it was always playing catch up because lies are more interesting. The thing though is that ultimately the adjustments that are supposed to be made on the Hoima Stadium will be made. Most of them will be made because thankfully Hoima Stadium is newly built, unlike say Nambole or others, and the contractor is still on site for what they call the defects liability period. So the comments were made and the contractor will adjust them, and they're not too difficult. Some of them, the tougher ones, there will be compromises, I'm sure.
I'll tell you this, Mark. As we wind up on this matter, the 4 most important people in Pamoja are not Mark Sali and Mark Namanya. They are Patrice Motsepe.
They're not the influencer.
No, not the influencer. The one with the
tweet.
It's Patrice Motsepe. The CAF president. Who has pronounced himself time and again on Pamoja happening in East Africa, in Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. Number 2 is President Yoweri Museveni, who has committed that the tournament will be hosted, and all the funds have been endorsed at cabinet level. Number 3 is President William Samoei Ruto. Number 4 is President Samia Suluhu. The rest are irrelevant.
Let's just talk from the rest. But listen, I can't leave this topic because the reason I might have started with hotels on you, but I wanted to paint a bigger picture of the stimulus. Okay, we've said this before, but every time you get new viewers and all. You've just talked about those hotels within Hoima and Masindi getting that financial boost from UDB, Uganda Development Bank, and upgrading. That will be good because the hotel space in there is not going to only be an Afcon thing.
No.
It is for the guys who are coming in to explore the oil and all the other businesses that in and around our oil exploration there. It is the guys who are going to be using Hoima Airport for whatever reason.
Absolutely.
And there will be so many other reasons.
And this work which is going to be part of the money in the 900 billion which has been passed for the MDS includes work to be done towards the completion of Kabalega Airport. By
CAA.
Absolutely, by CAA.
Yeah, so that you can imagine. So this is the kind of stimulus that the economy is getting because of Afcon. There are certain things the Ugandan ought to know which are being done in this country between now and next June, which would never have been done in this period if it wasn't for
there's going to be work done on Hoima Hospital. Masindi Hospital. And the work which is going to be done on the camp, which is actually ongoing on Kampala Hoima Road, is not going to. It will be there for eternity.
That road will be used long after CAF and long after Afcon, and it will be largely of help. But the thing is, look at it this way: that stadium, even outside of Afcon, has been certified by other world bodies for use in competition. not long after, I mean, even before Afcon takes place, the guys of the Federation of Uganda Basketball Associations are actually looking to bring World Cup qualifiers under 18s to Hoima. They've already been there and inspected, you've seen.
Yeah.
They want to use that mini arena as a host for the entire Africa on World Cup qualifiers.
I mean, Mark, you were there for the
so imagine, yeah?
For the commissioning, you are the master of ceremonies for the commissioning where the president did officially unveil the stadium. And I was happy that they invited members of Uganda Aquatics because there's a swimming pool.
Yes, yeah.
You have the basketball, the Hoima City Arena, which is good to go. It's actually the best basketball facility we have in the country today. Not so many people know about it.
No, they don't.
You have obviously, I mean, that facility it can be used from various other disciplines. You know, athletics. You know that Uganda is in the contention for hosting the 2031 All Africa Games, and these are things which the gullible can.
They don't know that, but
they don't know.
Hey, I'll tell you of another one, Mark. Just in May here, I think it's in May, yes, the European Union, all the embassies in Uganda of countries, nations that belong to the European Union are going to gather. Their ambassadors and their entourages are going to gather into Hoima Stadium. They've chosen it as the venue for their celebrations of this year. And they're going to use Hoima Stadium, not only for sports activities, because they'll have several, like athletics maybe, and some football, and a lot in the indoor arena itself.
Yeah.
But also for a conference, for a dinner, they're bringing that entire region together, schools, communities, and because they have activities and sensitizations that go beyond sport.
Yes.
But that is the venue they've chosen. And that, I'm talking the European Union, and the nations within the European Union are actually the same countries that put money into our economy in terms of donations and loans and grants and all for development of things like infrastructure and several other things. And these guys have chosen that because of the positive publicity first generated and their excitement over a new facility. So you can understand that. But for me, I'll tell you the stimulus to the economy, how far it extends. I live in Boyogere. I've lived in Boyogere since 2012. That's 14 years and running. If you tell me that the Ministry of Works has prioritized, which it has actually because it's part of that whole Afcon arrangement, the tarmacking of the road from Jokers through Damanve, Industrial Park, all the way up to Seta, Mukono. That road, the importance of that road to the communities of people in the Chira division, it's I mean, for me,
and that importance,
that is the kind of thing that's going to happen in different parts of the country, and that importance because of Afcon.
It's going to outlast 18th June to 19th July 2027.
Yes,
it will be there, but that's one of the legacy projects out of Afcon. And it's important to see the bigger picture, Ugandans. It's important to see the bigger picture.
I agree entirely, but for me, I've seen I've been going over the last 2 weeks. I just feel sad that people are losing the big picture.
And I'll say this for the upteenth time. I've been to Afcons. Mark, you've been to Afcons.
Yeah.
We were in Oyem, in Gabon, where Uganda played Mali. Burkina Faso. These are countries which have nothing. Yeah, there are even no roads in Oyem. There was no accommodation.
And Burkina Faso was dormitories, I think.
When I think of what Hoima has, Hoima is good to go as it is today, without doing any changes. It's comfortably better than Oyem. So it's
because most of the Ugandans on social media and whoever who are blabbering going around are ignorant of this.
They're ignorant of the things. Hoima as it is right now, it's good to go. So listen, it's very important to know that Afcon is a Ugandan tournament. It's our moment. Never in the history of this country, certainly, as some to be corrected, have we had a tournament, have we organized a tournament which is going to host the hundreds of thousands of visitors like Pamoja will do next year. Never. I stand to be corrected, Mark.
Yeah.
So this is one moment for us to put on our patriotic shoes and hats.
And just get in there. But
and there's money to be made by just about by no one everybody.
It comes from an understanding, a bigger understanding of the big picture, and stepping away from pettiness and myopia. Because what I tell you is, when you talk about the stimulus. You've just talked about those hotels, and then you've talked about the roads. Uganda Railway Corporation are getting money thanks to that cabinet declaration,
Yes.
if you like,
Yes.
to improve the rail.
Yeah.
You've got Uganda Tourism Board getting money to expose Uganda with that campaign of destination.
Yes. They're going to become official partners
of CAF.
Of CAF.
So that they promote Uganda.
$7 million.
So you talk about
So if you're in the tourism industry, I mean,
you're bound to pay from somewhere, whether you're selling food or driving a car,
absolutely,
or have accommodation,
tours and travel, anything.
You're bound to get something out of it. So when you talk about
position yourself, if you're not into Airbnb business, now is the time to get into Airbnb. Fix your house, fix your apartments, get the AC working, get the fittings right, your showers, your kitchen, because you're going to make money next year.
Bakari, when you talk that with all the places we've been to for these sporting events, are different ones, not just football and all. What happens is that people, the guys who come into the country, there are way too many. And not all of them go to the hotels. Not everybody's going to book into your Serena.
We were in Morocco.
Your Serena of 4.5.
We were in Morocco, and when I was in Rabat, all the apartments were taken.
Yeah, so apartments are...
Suddenly on Morocco match days, all the apartments were taken. In Fez, all the apartments were taken. Go to Marrakesh, they were all taken.
Simple motels and guest houses will be filled up, and so will people's houses.
And we are speaking...
You forget your house?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go to live with the neighbors so that you
make some money. Make some money.
Your own house.
Make some money, yeah.
That was happening in South Africa and everywhere.
Yeah, and everywhere.
Yes. So, anyways...
So what we're telling you as Mark to Mark, we've been to these places. We're not speaking, we're not speculating.
No.
We've traveled, we've lived the experience. So listen to us. Do not be negaholics. Just put your patriotic hats and shoes on, and let's embrace this moment.
No, seriously, we've got to get away from the pettiness and the myopia, get away from, the ignorance you talked about. Find out a little more, and then enjoy the experience.
Play it loud. Play it loud. Play it loud. Play it loud.